guys. Today we're going to be talking about food chains. So, before we talk about food chains, we need to know the definition of a food chain. So, let me just write that. My handwriting is just a little different. Okay, so the definition of the food chain is right in the red box right here. So, what it says is a food chain is a sequence that shows how energy and nutrients ecosystem. So these right here are types of ecosystem. There could be more, but these are common types that you'll see in a quiz or a test. So a food chain in a grassland ecosystem is sun, grass, grasshopper, frog, snake, hawk, and mostly everything just like that. So before we start, the first thing that we start with is the primary producer, which are plants, right? The phytoplankton is a type of plant, but we don't worry about that. In a food chain, each organism feeds on the other. So the hawk will feed on the lizard it to get energy. Each feeds on the one before it and is eaten by the one after. So a small fish eats an algae, whatever, and then a big fish eats the small fish. A big fish eats the small fish. Have you noticed anything? If you have noticed anything, comment below. But I have a question for you guys. Have you guys seen anything that's noticeable and common in all of the structures? Like all the ecosystems? Have you noticed anything? What do all these ecosystems have in common? So we're going to be answering that on the next slide. The sun. All the ecosystems start up with the sun. If you noticed, the sun is the primary producer before the main producer, which is the plants or other things that give energy to tertiary or other eaters. And the sun gives them the energy. So you might have seen that. If you have noticed this, then give yourself a pat on the back. Good job. So let's talk about the sun. The sun. What does the sun do? What benefits do the sun give? Energy to plants. With the energy given from the sun, plants go through a process called photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is the process by when plants make their own food using the sunlight or the energy from sunlight. So, a plant breathes carbon dioxide but breathes out oxygen, and that humans get the oxygen. Oxygen is the air human beings breathe. If the sun didn't exist, all human beings would no longer live because we wouldn't have any oxygen. So one note, oxygen is given from plants. You can note that down. Oxygen is given from plants. Okay, I cannot speed up for a second. Okay, my handwriting is a little funky, but let's go on to the next slide. So, example of a food chain. If you have any questions about this, you could ask or comment down below. Show you the explanation. So the sun provides producers with the energy to perform photosynthesis. So photosynthesis is just the process that where plants or producers use sunlight into chemical energy through the process of photosynthesis, where they make their own food through the sunlight or energy given from the sunlight. So, a producer that converts sunlight into chemical energy through photosynthesis, providing food for the consumers to consume. So, there are three types: the primary consumers, the secondary consumers, and the tertiary consumers. So, the primary consumers eat the producers. Secondary, a carnivore, a herbivore, or an omnivore. So basically, it eats from the producer and provides energy to secondary consumers. Now, secondary consumer, it eats smaller animals and plants, and it can be eaten by tertiary animals or consumers. Tertiary consumers eventually get decomposed by decomposers. So decomposers basically break down dead organisms and they release the nutrients from the dead matter into the environment around them. So decomposers could be worms, bacteria, or even fungi. And there's way more decomposers than what I just said. Now, this is the summary. So, the sun is right here, it's glitching, it's bugging, and then it's going down to the grass. Grass is a type of producer, so it goes down to the grass, and the bunny is eating the grass, so it is a primary consumer, and then the hawk is evilly going to eat the bunny, and the hawk looks a little different, but the hawk will eat the bunny as it is the secondary consumer. And the hawk dies, so it will get decomposed by decomposers. Now, there is a tertiary consumer, but what if it skips? A hog dies by itself and it will get decomposed by decomposer. Now, a worm can be a decomposer. It breaks down nutrients and releases them into the dead matter into the environment. So, that's the summary. Thank you guys for listening. We'll meet in the next learning video or the next video. Hopefully you liked my video and understood what food chains are and the basic knowledge of food chains. See you in the next video. Make sure to like and subscribe. Bye!